All right, guys, we have here another race winning car, and this is another race winner video, and we have here Brandon Phillips. the fantastic win for Brandon Phillips last Tuesday on the Sanson Raceway plastic Policar track. This is the Angie Rollins Classic Formula One class. This is a class that I like a lot. Literally copied from Angie Rollins in the UK. They race all around the country over there. I had the chance to race this class in the last UK festival. They set up a big polycar track and they have a race there. I was actually not that bad. I got a borrow car, a borrow controller. I came up in 8th out of 36 or something. That was good. That was good. So this class is super fun, especially because if you like Formula One, you can see how this car behaves. You can see this car coming out of the turns, and it's pretty cool to see, to watch, especially when you have like this big group that we have here. We have like 8 cars racing last Tuesday. Brandon, who is here with me. Hi, Brandon.
Hey.
He built this car, and we're gonna break it down to show you the secrets, and I hope you can learn something and make and improve your car. So let's go. So this is the Marlboro BRM car made by Policar. I don't remember who the drive is, but that's something that is easily can be found easily. The rules specify that you can put some weights. So I see that Brandon used the weights here and are very well cut it around the screws. So to start, we can just weight the car and then we can go from there. I think that's the first question that everyone has right now. So let's see how heavy the car is. So right now it's giving me 60 grams, 60.79 grams. Can the camera shows it? I don't think I can turn it. It's gonna be a factor. It's 61. It's almost 61 grams. Maybe here. Let's see. Yeah, 60.8. Better. There we go. 60.8 grams. Originally, I think this car is under 50.
Yeah, they're really light.
Really light, right? And okay, let's talk about the car. I'm gonna try to take the body out, which is very hard to do it. But the good thing is that I don't need to assemble it back. I just gonna give it back to him. He's right here. So that's not my problem anymore. So let's take the first body screw here. I hope this is a body screw. It is. All right, so the nose comes out first. Oh my God, I'm gonna break it. So you lose. There's no body screw on the bottom, on the back.
That's on purpose.
That's on purpose. Look at this. So there's only one body screw holding.
No, there should be 2
on the sides rear.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, so let me see which one is the pod, which one's the body. I think is the body the ones that comes with a little washer.
Yes.
No, right?
Yes.
It's not for the pod with the washer.
If you turn it over, I can see.
Let's see.
The ones in the back.
In the back, all
yeah,
right.
Those
so
are the body
those
screws.
2 more body screws. So he's not using. Okay, he already says that he's not using here. We might classify this car as illegal, and we can take the wheel out of Brandon here. I don't know. Okay, so we have, weirdly enough, you have, which I think it's a slotting plus, screw in front and 2 brass, I believe, slotted screws on the back. So let me take this body off. This is a nightmare to take out. This is something.
The nose is the hardest part to get to let go.
The nose is going. Okay, 1 screw out, 2 screw out. I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna break it. Okay, the nose is out. Look at this, how difficult it is. So here we go, guys. This is the car. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give to Brandon maybe because I think if I take this off. Okay, I see what you're saying. You didn't need the screw here because the wing kind of holds the whole body in the back. All right, gonna pass to Brandon. Let's cut. When you come back, you're gonna see the car without the body.
Oh no, it's these.
Okay.
So that's a motor pod screw,
Mm-hmm.
and then these 2 are body screws. So those 2 front ones by the guide are body screws.
Okay.
So there might be a nut that falls out of the chassis when you take it off, because I think I had that front screw held down with a nut.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Now we have it. Turns out there were 2 more screws that nobody told me. Okay. Here's the body. Original BRM Policar body on Marlboro livery. Standard, no modifications, nothing. You have 2 body screws plus 2 plus the one on the back. He was not using the one on the back. Beautiful thing here. So right here you have the chassis. The chassis, of course, it comes with a lot of suspension details to make this car very special. So you have weight here in the bottom and on top. And I noticed there is some, you told me that you have 1 screw that was held by a nut.
Yeah, just the front one.
The front one on the pod, right?
Yeah.
So which was this very first screw that I took off. They're not supposed to. So let's put this back. It's a very little and complicated car, but if you're really into it, it's very nice because
that's an understatement.
When you drive, yeah, that's another. When you drive, you have a lot of fun. So this is kind of, again, this class is so special. You have 1 car, 2 cars, maybe a custom one. Last Tuesday we had somebody racing. James actually was racing with a 6-wheeler that used a Scalextrics body and a 3D printed chassis that we sell here. There was another person racing a SRC McLaren with a 3D chassis. So you can adapt the 3D chassis for fly cars, SRC, and Scalextrics and use the whole drivetrain from Policar. So this makes the class because the powertrain is the same. Here on the back, you have the normal Policar gear that you, if you're seeing this for the first time, it gets a little complicated with bevel pinions and a bunch of other stuff here. So I can see that he did some work here. He put some ball bearings too. So you're gonna have to be very precise to mess it up with this. Right now, you have probably very close to the limit. Yes.
Do you want me to talk about the gear setup?
Yes, please.
Because it's not stock.
It's not stock.
It is
All
not
right.
stock.
Yeah, please help me out.
So that mid gear.
Just to check, you here have below 68 inches in the back.
So that mid gear that comes stock, the pinion and the mid gear are both beveled on the stock setup. So Policar actually makes a gear that's straight, the mid gear that's straight, so we can actually use that brass pinion that's on the motor. So it's a little bit more that you get better gear contact and you get better reliability because we are running a brass instead of 2 plastic gears.
All right. Yeah, I believe that on the very first race, Todd was complaining about the plastic pinion that he broke all the time.
He spun, I think, a couple of them off of the
So you guys found a way to make that more reliable, changing the middle gear.
Yeah.
And that's something that is offered by Policar.
Yep.
And you're going to need some specialized assistance to change this. Jesus Christ, look at that. Yeah. But again, this is part of the hobby, I think. It's
the nice thing is the those actually the bearings that are in the mid gear are not glued in. Those are just pressed in because how they're set up, they're actually being held in by the mid gear. So we didn't glue those in just in case we needed to change a gear out because and I want to clarify that the figuring out of the gearing and everything was all Todd, so he helped me out a lot there with most of the car actually.
Very nice. And you're using here a 25K motor, right?
No, so that is the what the original rules allowed was for any RPM, no RPM limit. Okay. So that is a Professor motor, 35K motor.
35K motor, yeah. So this is something that we were discussing in the group, and I think we're going to come back. Because what I feel is just what I wrote on the email. Like when Andy put together those set of rules, they're like to mimic the original 60s and 70s Formula 1 rules that you don't have a limit on the motor.
Yeah.
So the next weekend, if you find out something faster, you can just race it and everybody's going to follow. And I think that was what was about to happen, which is kind of cool because just after the race, I noticed that you and Todd, you guys raced at 35K. And I think this is also a neodymium magnet thing, which gives you more magnetic traction. And everybody was about to follow you. But I have to cut this short because I don't think it's that fun to drive. I think it gets too fast, and people cannot handle. And I think you lose a little bit of the spirit of the rule.
I think so. It's interesting because I didn't have a hard time driving the car on the Policar track.
Yeah, you won the race. Easy to use.
But I also really like the Policar track, and I think I've got the timing down on it. I did run it a little bit on the wood track, and they are pretty scary fast. Braking because the cars are so light, even with a absolute ton of weight in them.
Good thing we're not inside of the cars.
Yeah. But they, and some, I think some of the guys were concerned about us running a 35K motor, but if you look at the race results, Eddie Shore came in second, and he was running a stock motor in his car.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was necessarily the motor. The nice thing about that 35K motor that I found, especially on that smaller track, was it had a lot of torque coming out of the turns. So I could carry a decent amount of speed, and then I can pull out of the turns really, really hard. So it was a little bit, for me, it was a little bit more forgiving. And then running the true speed controller helps a lot too, because there's so much adjustment. I had my top speed turned down quite a bit too, to kind of adjust for it and make it a little bit smoother.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that's two things, right? You're taking advantage of a controller that you have a choke, that you can lower your speed.
Yeah. But I'm fine with running, I have no issue with running the stock motors. I think they're still going to be really fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to lower a little bit the enthusiasm around this and make it easier for people to join.
Yeah, totally.
Because if you have to change it, you have to try motors, and it's difficult to drive. You guys are already making a lot of changes on the gearing. It's not original. And this is something for the good, because that benefits everybody, and something that you do only once. But if you start to experiment with motors and stuff like that, I think it's going to be hard. Tires, you're using the G25s here, right?
G25s, and that's why I chose that car specifically, because there's two BRMs. One's a 71, one's a 72. And in accordance with the rules, the 71 originally had to use the 15.8 wheels with F22s. I know you changed it to anybody can use G25s, but specifically with a 72, you can run the 13 mil wheel with a G25 tire. So that's why I chose that car. Okay. And the only difference between the 71 BRM and the 72 is that hood scoop, which doesn't really weigh very much. So I didn't think it was going to be an issue.
Clearly not. They won the race, man. Very, very nice. So you have like very thin, short front tires. They barely touch. They probably don't touch here. And we have a 0.5 gap here. We can put on the 0.1. There you go. So here on the 0, they don't touch. The car is not that high, but it's not that low too, because you have those two chunks of weight here. So you have to clear that. That's probably like 0.5 millimeter or something. So and you have 68 here on the wheel spread here, and pretty much everything else is original. There's no much of well, there's a lock actually, but I don't know if this was original because I just put the nut back here. But you do have some side play here, side by side, but no around the pod, just up and down here, and they're only here on the side because you don't have anything else here in the back. So this is probably the only two screws for the pod plus the front one. A little bit more weight here on the top. 35K motor that's going to be changed for 25 for the next race. And that's it. Simple car. He has a little piece of metal here to hold the wires together. The guide, I believe, is one of the Slotting Plus guides. Super long ones are those. I think we have like 25 millimeters as a limit here. He's right there, 24/7. Nice car. I think this is one of the greatest class we have here. I hope we have more people, and I hope we have more people doing special cars, doing like custom made cars. Actually, our boss, he owns a March 711 from Ronnie Peterson, and I'm asking Andy to make a custom one so I can race next year and bring as a gift.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's very close to the March that Policar has, but has like a wing that is a little bit higher. Brandon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing the secrets. Let's see if you can get the second win with the slower motor.
We'll see on the wood track. We'll see if I can hold off Todd and Eddie, I guess.
All right. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.